Welcome back to another episode of Men's Physique News. First of all, happy holidays to all of you guys and hope you had a great new year. It's a new year for us. Got a lot of great things in store. Myself, Christopher Barr, IPB Pro, Mike here with me as well, always. We're here today to talk about the Arnold Classic. I know everybody's excited about that. So we're going to run down the guys, what we think about them, and we'll go from there. Mike, how's everything going with you, man?
It's been a nice break, I'm not going to lie. Really good break that we've had here over the last, month or so now. So we're enjoying that. But, got some people getting ready for the Arnold. A few amateurs, obviously. My camp has Emmanuel Hunter ready. E-Man. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
We've been wanting this for a long time. We've come short in 2022 by a placing. We came short by 2 placings in 2023. Excuse me. And I think this year we close the gap.
Yeah,
but
I believe so
we'll
too.
talk about that.
Yeah.
There's some great physiques here. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I think this is probably, to me, the most competitive Arnold I've seen in a very long time.
Agreed.
Since when you saw Andre and Brandon and George Brown and all those top guys, Chiron. I haven't seen a lineup like this.
No.
I mean, even we had Raymond and one of those as well. So it's been a while. I think the last 2 years we've had obviously a really good champion.
Yes.
Mr. Olympia champion.
Yes.
He's not here this year.
Yep.
So I think it's an open playing field for a lot of
wide
guys.
Wide open, man.
Yeah.
It's a wide open year, man.
And I think that's why a lot of people showed up.
Yes.
I think there's only 2 guys that have won it multiple times.
Yep.
Obviously, that was Andre Ferguson and Aaron Banks.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Sorry. Yep.
And Aaron Banks. So it's going to be exciting to see who the new champion's going to be.
Correct.
And a very similar lineup in Arnold UK, which is coming back this year, which was
great, man.
last year.
Excited about that, man. It's awesome. It's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, I think I know what my top call-out's going to be based on.
Are you going to tell us today, though?
I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
But I'm going to keep on monitoring the progress of these athletes, and we're going to keep doing updates as we get closer to this. I feel things could change. Again, what a competitive lineup. The conditioning in this lineup is going to be probably the best.
The best. All of the guys are great.
I don't think there's one guy in this lineup, maybe 1 or 2 that I've seen off in their career.
Right.
Maybe 2 guys out of this whole lineup.
Yep.
So, yeah, I expect a very competitive lineup. I expect a lot of good backs on stage.
Great backs on this entire lineup. Yep.
So, yeah, I think this is by far going to be one of the most overall, not
great
just the
shows.
top 5, overall the most competitive men's physique lineup that we've seen in years.
Hey, man, I'm excited to see what the judges say, man, because they got their work cut out for this one, man.
Yeah.
Work cut out for sure.
I mean, again, I think they'll have their eyes on some returning guys that have been in the mix. Diogo and Emmanuel switched 2 and 3 back-to-back years. So obviously those guys you got to look at as a favorite.
Absolutely.
You got Corey Morris,
for sure. Yep.
Who is 6th at Olympia, top in the world. So you got to look at him as a favorite.
Absolutely.
And then you got some guys in this lineup that you can see here that have been multiple winners in shows
throughout the year
and multiple Olympians.
Absolutely.
I'd like to start off with, I guess, my first guy, it would be Ian Walker.
Okay.
You observe him, I observed him.
Yes.
Obviously, I think he won like 3 shows last year. Qualified early. I think it made sense for him to do this.
It's a great pick, I believe, for sure. I've had time to look at his physique over the last couple of days. I mean, he's in amazing condition already. Being 7 weeks out, which is wild. But what are your thoughts on him going into the show? Like, what do you predict him to do as far as?
Again, I understand why he did it because he's already qualified and he can shut it down right after this.
Right.
What I don't feel he's been able to do yet is get back to more developed, to close the gap in the big shows.
Okay.
In my opinion, he needs to build more density, just a little more. His condition has always been great. That's why he wins. His front's great.
Yes.
He needs to pose his back better. I don't know if that's been fixed.
Yeah.
It got a little better at Olympia.
Okay.
But I feel he's got some still work to do. I think it's going to be really tough for him to crack into this top 5.
I completely agree. I think it's a very, very hard top 5 guys. I mean, he should do well. I think he'll place very well, but he's got a lot of competition. If he hadn't fixed some of those flaws he's had, especially from Olympia, I think that he'll be outside of the top 5. I can agree with that there, for sure.
And then we have Jonas.
Yep.
He was USA's overall champion,
Yep.
2 times Olympian.
Yes.
One thing I said to Jonas, I said, it's time to get out of the muscle contest.
Yes, man.
You got to spread your wings. And you got to try some harder shows. Come on over to the East Coast.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
He went right for the hardest show on the East Coast.
He did.
Right underneath Olympia.
Yep.
I think Jonas is, he's had some inconsistency.
Yes.
I've seen him better at the shows that he won than showing up at Olympia. His placings obviously has improved, and I think he is improving. I think he's got some great parts.
He does.
He's got good density.
Great chest.
He's got a good
Great
back,
full
great chest, good front, good look.
Yeah.
He's a good poser, so he's got a lot of things going for him. I still think it's a little too early for him for this type of lineup.
Okay.
So I don't have him in my top 5 right now.
I got you.
I like his potential and great individual.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
I've had a chance to stand with him on stage, and I've enjoyed my time with this great guy, great business guy as well, which I highly respect. But I think that again, I'm with you. This is going to be a tough crack at a show with these type
for anybody.
Individuals. Right.
Yeah, these are I believe if you look at probably the top 20 in the world.
Absolutely.
So,
no, 100%. Yep.
Yeah, I think all these guys are in the top 20.
Gotcha. What do you think about? So we'll go into next guy. Let's talk about Ismail. What do you think about him as far as his look?
I think Ismail matches really well with Diogo.
Yep.
So I feel Ismail, could he be top 5? I think he could. I think last year was his breakout year as far as Olympia. I think he got his best placing. He had a really hard year the year before. He missed Olympia.
Yeah.
He was just always in the top 5, not getting where he needed to get. Once they took away the point system, now it's obviously harder, and you need to win. So I think he made his adjustments. He came back this year knowing that, and he won the show.
Yep.
So he looked phenomenal.
He did at Olympia. I'm gonna tell you, I was very impressed with him at Olympia.
Arguably, a lot of people thought he could have beat Jeremy Pop then.
Oh, he was great, man.
In that show that he did.
Right.
But I think Ismail could crack my top 5. I think because he's a good comparison to a Diogo, to a Vitor Chavez. But what is he going to look like against Emmanuel Hunter or Corey Morris?
Right.
Some of those guys. Manuel Costa,
Yep.
very good back, very well balanced.
Yep.
I'm sure I had him placing higher in the Olympia.
Right.
I thought he could have been even higher than he was, and he did decent. But again, big lineup, a lot of guys.
Yep.
But I felt, how is his back going to hold up? He's well balanced, good chest, good waist.
Great poser. I've had a chance to stand with him on stage before him as well, and I think that for him, his conditioning from year to year has drastically improved from the year that we first met.
And I don't think that's ever been the main issue. It's the back.
Yeah.
And again, I see the back improving, and I love to see what he does. Again, I don't think there's a lot of time. For me, as a coach, I'm not going to put a guy or my guy in the Arnold if they did not do well at Olympia.
Right.
And there's that much of a amount of improvement still needs to happen.
Correct.
So
Such a
with
fast
this guy, I think it's improving. I'd love to see him next year. One more year. I think he can crack into maybe even a higher placing, but wouldn't shock me if he landed 5th place in this lineup.
Me either.
Yeah.
Great. So let's talk about one of my favorite guys actually on this is Corey Morris. What are your thoughts on Corey going into this one? I've been watching all of his videos on Instagram and all of his things he's been doing. His training, he's training legs, which is outstanding. I've been watching him do that, which is great. So what do you think he'll do this year in Arnold?
I had a long talk with Corey
Okay.
just about a week ago for about 45 minutes, and we talked about obviously the Arnold, talked about Olympia. Corey is arguably, well, could be higher than he was at Olympia. I had him higher. I had him higher in my lineup. But I think there's still some little tweaks that need to be made. But I also feel Corey could be one of the guys that win this show.
Yes.
I have him in my top 3.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think all between those guys and who comes in the best.
Yep.
He's lost to Diogo, obviously at Olympia multiple times, and he's lost Emmanuel the last 2 times.
Yep. That's going to be his biggest challenge.
Yeah, can he?
Right.
I can't see him being any worse than 3rd in this lineup.
Yeah.
He is probably by far one of the best conditioned guys in this lineup.
Yep.
I would say definitely top 3. So I can't see him falling out of that.
Right.
Being number 6 in the world.
No,
I think he's going to be higher next year at Olympia.
Yep.
Love Corey as a person. Think he's a great athlete. He's a hard worker. He's training his legs hard. He's training hard.
He loves this, man. He lives this.
He motivates me watching him.
It's great,
I think
man.
he's, to me, he is arguably maybe one of the hardest workers in the Olympia lineup.
Very passionate.
Yeah,
Very passionate, man.
I love everything I'm seeing coming from him.
Yep.
He's determined. He wants it. He's not scared.
Yep.
Just a great athlete. He's probably great to coach.
Yep.
So shout out to him and Cuts. They've done a great
great
job.
job, man.
Consistent. He needs to be tight, how he was at Olympia.
He was, right.
And he just needs to keep improving the back a little.
Yep.
Is there enough time to do that, to close the gap against guys that he lost to? I'm not sure,
know.
man. I think if they're off, I think he
does have a shot. If they're off, he has a
If I woke up
shot.
and if I was at the show and I woke up because I'll be there, front row. If he showed up and won the show, I wouldn't be shocked.
Me either.
So,
no, for sure.
But again, he just still needs to keep lowering those lats a little in the back.
Yep.
He needs to take down the shoulders a little.
He does. I think he's doing that, though. I had a good conversation with him. He said, he's changed his workout a lot. I know that's some of the feedback he's received from the judges.
It's all in the training.
It's training.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm sure he's got a good plan together.
Right.
I could see he's pounding his legs to bring his legs up. That was something they wanted to see more balance from him.
Yep.
He's a little unsymmetrical. He's
Absolutely.
a tall guy.
He's
got a big frame. It's hard. It's a lot harder for guys like him than a guy like Diogo to fill out.
Short, correct.
So, again, I love his look.
Yeah.
I think it's a very cool look, almost cartoonish in some way. We used to say very 3D.
Yep.
But again, symmetrical. I think it's the fine detail he needs to keep on improving. But when it all comes together, Corey Morris is going to be a big threat for many years to come, as long as he wants to compete.
Absolutely, agreed. What do you think about Jeffrey?
Jeffrey
UK guy.
Darko.
Yep.
Very similar. I'm glad you brought
Those
him
two.
after Corey
Yep.
because Jeffrey is very similar. But I think it's what Corey was a couple of years back.
Correct. I got you.
He still needs to lower those lats. His lat insertions are extremely high.
Yep.
He has got very long arms, so
He does.
I think his front pose needs some work in the way he holds
He
the
does.
arm out
Yes,
a little.
that's definitely the same thing I say. I
I've
agree.
always wanted to message him when I see him posing sometimes and be like, just
He
let
doesn't
that
have to
arm
be straight
relax.
arm.
Just let it relax down.
Yeah.
But I also understand what he's trying to do, so his body looks a little more symmetrical in the front.
Yeah. He has great conditioning.
Yeah.
He always has
Bring
a great
the arms
front.
down a little more in his back pose, not so high up.
Yep.
He needs to bring him down, have the elbows slanting and downwards.
Right.
I think it'll give him better shape in his back and not make his lats look so high. When you pull your lats up the lats are going to go up like that.
That's right.
If you bring your arms down, the lats are going to sag down more. So for someone like him, I don't think he's got any room for error when it comes to his posing.
No.
Great condition, probably the best waist in this lineup.
Very small.
Him and Corey.
Yep.
By far. Great guy.
Yeah.
I love his energy.
Yep.
He's a great ambassador for the sport.
He is.
And I think he has a bright future.
No, he does.
So, yeah, I'm excited to see what he does. So I think he'll crack this top 5. I don't think this year.
Right. Gotcha. So we're going to our next guy. We'll go to Victor. Victor, what do you think about him? I know we talked a little bit about him a couple of days ago. What is some of your Victor? I'm sorry. Yeah. What is your feedback on that?
Okay, I'm a big fan of Vitor since he broke out into the league.
Yes.
Great chest, bubbly. I always said he's the new Diogo coming in. He's young, hardworking.
Yep.
He did make a coach switch. which to me, I'd never
Was that a
seen,
good move, or what do you think?
Well, to who he went to,
Okay.
which was Cuts.
Yep.
I think that's a really good
Absolutely.
move. But will they nail it the first show? Will
That's
they
the
nail
thing.
it at a bigger stage
Right.
like this?
Right.
It takes time. I don't care how good of a coach you are. And
Agreed.
it's nothing against Cuts. He's a good friend of mine.
Yep.
I know we always need
It
some
takes
time and some run.
Shows, right?
Yes, and it hasn't been a long time for them to work together.
Correct.
So, for me, I think will he hit it? As far as the package, will he nail the peak?
Yeah.
I still think against this lineup, he's gonna have to have a bigger back.
Yes.
Good density.
Good density.
Great muscle. He can't really grow too much more.
I'm about to say, you think he's pushing the line a little bit on size?
He's at that cap.
Yeah.
But he's got so much muscle in other places, he can stop training those areas
Correct.
and replace the muscle or the focus.
Right.
But I have him in my top 5.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You have him?
Yeah, I have him in my top 5.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I
We'll see.
think Vitor will be, as Diogo gets older
Yes.
and transitions out of the league soon. I don't know. I mean, he's in his 30s.
Yep.
He's got a kid. He's got a business.
Yep.
But Diogo just keeps on showing up. So I think that Vitor is going to be in his top 5.
Gotcha.
He should be,
Yeah.
based on his placing at Olympia
Yeah.
and what he done at the Arnold. and
Absolutely. He'll do well. I love his posing. I always said I'm a big fan of your posing, man, by the way. I think it's great.
I love him being different. I don't
It's
give a
different.
shit
I like
about
it,
what
man.
people think.
Yeah, it's
People
dope.
like
It's
to
dope.
criticize things that they hadn't thought of.
Right. Yeah. His posing is dope. I think
like
it's
it.
great, man. So shout out to you, brother. Posing's dope. We'll go into Diogo right after that, since we were just talking about him.
Yeah.
I think those are, both guys from Brazil. They got big fan bases there. Like, tell me a little about what your thoughts on him and how you think he'll do as well.
I think Diogo's best package I've seen from him was the Arnold last year,
Yes,
where he placed second.
He was phenomenal, man.
Honestly, a lot of
phenomenal.
people had him pushing Banks. Banks didn't know that he won that show until the
Yeah,
end.
no, it was tight. It was real tight.
So, how could you not have him as your top 3 favorite?
Great move.
It's impossible not to.
Mm-hmm.
He's been top 5 at the Olympia 3 years in a row.
Yes.
To me, I think he should have stayed out of that Brazil show.
Yep.
Losing that show, I think it hurt him a little.
Stock a little bit. Yeah, stock just a little bit.
Well, listen, I don't think it hurt. Different judges, different panel. It is. So I think that he is gonna battle in there, man.
Yeah.
Honestly,
So you definitely would have
he's
him.
got to
in the
bring the
top
abs
5.
in. The
Yes.
abs got to be tight. He's
That's
just
always
got to
been
nail
his
that
critique.
peak.
Yep.
Great poser.
Yep.
Just overall balance. He's one of the best in the world. You're talking about number
is.
3 in the world back to back.
Absolutely.
This guy is no joke.
No.
So I think Diogo will be battling. I think he'll have an opportunity to win this.
Yeah. Agreed.
Let's leave it at that.
I completely agree. Let's go into one of the newer guys. Go to Andre Ramos. What do you think about him, Andreas? What do you think about his posing? Like what?
I think Andre Ramos. Obviously, he's in this as an automatic bid.
Yep.
Smart for him to do it. He's
Yes.
in it. I've never seen an overall winner not come back and do this as a special invite.
Correct.
So I don't think it's a show he really could not do.
No.
I don't think he'll be a top 5 guy.
No.
Do I think this guy has a ton of potential? Absolutely.
Yes.
Can this guy be a top Olympian one day?
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yep.
He's young. He's got a lot of muscle.
He does.
Looks great. Needs to improve his back posing.
Yes.
Needs to improve his width and his lats. Overall, he just needs to get a little wider.
Wider, right.
He's got a great front, and when you turn around the back, you're like, not as good as the front.
Right.
But that comes with age. He's
Absolutely.
young.
He's got time to grow.
Yeah.
So much
he needs
time.
To, he needs to
build.
perfect his posing, his back pose. He missed Olympia because he pinched his back.
He did.
So he's got to improve that. You can't mess up with a show like this,
No,
bud.
it's too
They're going to
big.
look for every reason not to put you
That's
in the
it.
top 5
That's it.
with the hard people they have to judge you.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Let's go into Mohammed.
Muhammad, yeah. What do you think?
Rabi.
Sorry, man. We've been mispronouncing your last name, man.
So I believe he is from Saudi Arabia, Egypt.
Yep.
I know he won the Saudi Pro 2 times.
Yep.
This guy's got
It's extremely bubbly,
great potential.
man. It's
Yeah,
insane.
bubbly.
Yes.
Maybe his shoulders are a little too big. You can even see in the flyer in the picture just really hard,
Yep.
round shoulders.
Yeah.
I think it also, when you pose like this, they're going to perk up a little more,
Right.
stand out.
Yep.
So maybe posing and adjustments
Need
to
to be
some of the
changed.
areas that can maybe give him better scoring.
Right.
Needs a little more back.
Right.
A little bit lower lats as well.
Correct.
Phenomenal conditioning.
Yeah.
I mean, with a guy like that, if everything comes together, he was top 20 at Olympia.
Yes.
I wouldn't be shocked if he can get, fifth
squeeze
place.
in there, man.
Squeeze in there. He looks good, man. I'm a fan of his physique, his potential. He needs to slow down some of his transitions a little.
Yes, that's
Just a little too posing hard. If he slows that all down, lets the physique relax.
Correct.
He was not gonna look so hard.
Right. I agree with that. I witnessed that.
He needs to just tone down his posing a little, keep improving the back, and just bring that amazing conditioning. And I can have this guy fifth or sixth.
I mean, I love this look. When I was at the Olympia, I sat right there. I mean, he had a great look.
I could have him anywhere from fourth to sixth, actually.
Yeah, when he walked out, man, I was very impressed. It just got sort of posing down, just like you said.
Yep.
I fully agree with that.
Let's go to Emmanuel Costa.
Yeah.
This guy I had predicted to be higher. And he was in my top 15. I didn't have him in my top 10.
Okay.
Obviously, everyone knows that I nailed that top 10 exactly
You
the way
did.
it was.
You did.
Even called almost every single placing.
You did.
I had this guy in my top 15. I think he just missed that.
Mm-hmm.
Great overall balance.
Yep.
Back is probably could be next to
Great,
Emmanuel
man.
Hunter, one of the best backs
Great
in this
back.
lineup.
Great back, man.
His erector, his pipes in the middle, just hard, thick.
Yep. Rear delts are amazing.
Yeah,
it's a great full look on this back.
Yep. Very
impressed.
good. Very impressive. This guy's dangerous, man. If I had to say anything, maybe he's a little too big. I'm not sure.
We don't know his size.
He's
yet.
he's very well balanced.
Okay.
His arms he needs to watch it with the arms a little. Just keep on posing good. Keep on bringing that condition. I have Emmanuel Costa maybe being fourth.
Okay.
I really do.
I can agree with that. I agree with that.
I have him in my top 5.
I agree with that.
A lot
That's
for my top 5.
A lot.
Yep.
We'll see, guys. We'll see. It's a great look, man. What do we have? We got. Let's go to Vinny.
Vinicius. Obviously, I've watched this guy closely. Me and Weatherspoon, when I coach him.
Yep.
We battled him in Mexico. I said, Spoon, the only guy we got to worry about is
It's
this
him.
guy.
It's him.
He made me nervous because he's deadly. He's fixed his posing.
Oh,
He's improved that.
He's posing greatly, man.
Yeah, I think that's
That
the
was
big
his
reason we
biggest-
got him.
yes.
He was a little off too. He just wasn't as dry.
I think he has great density in his back too.
Yeah,
His back is
he
phenomenal.
improved his placing. I mean, he's been top 15 at Olympia.
Yep.
This guy's a threat.
Yes.
This guy also I could have in my top 5.
Yes.
It's what the judges are looking for.
That's it.
You know, he's been in front of Steve before. He's been in front of Tyler before. It's where they'll place him.
Yep.
He's got to be dry because
gotta
I'm
be
telling
dry.
you right now, got Costa,
Yeah.
Diogo, Corey. These guys are going to be really
They're
dry.
gonna be dry, man. I agree.
And if he can put it all together, another guy that has very high lat insertions too. I think it's all improved a little. So, again, wouldn't be shocked if this guy is in there battling it out.
I agree with that.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd be looking for him. He's a guy that should get in there if it all comes together.
I mean, with his improvements on his posing, I've seen. I don't know if he changed posing coaches or whatever. It was a
I
great.
think he did hire a posing coach,
He
and
did,
I
and
believe I do know him overseas.
It didn't work great for
Should
him.
have hired me. I'm the best posing coach in the world.
Agreed.
Ben Quill argues that a lot. But
That's awesome, man. Well, we got down to the last guy, right? Emmanuel Hunter. Our
Emmanuel
guy.
Hunter, yes.
Shout out, you man.
Whew.
Honest feedback, Mike.
Honest
honest
feedback,
feedback.
it's his show to win.
Okay.
It's his show to lose.
Okay. Right. Sure.
So, in my opinion, Emmanuel just got to come in dry, and he can win this show.
Yes. Yeah.
I think overall balance, shape, the best back in the lineup,
Absolutely.
arguably one of the best backs in the world.
Great full
I
chest.
mean, great full chest, balanced.
Yep.
We got the feedback from the judges.
Yep.
Tan really hurt us at Olympia. His abdominal core was too dark.
Yep.
It was too dark on his back.
It was dark.
So obviously we're never going to make that mistake again.
Right.
Make sure he's a little lighter coming into his show. again, dryness in the back is.
Yep.
I think that's the only thing that's separating him from having a chance to win the show.
I agree.
He's definitely a lock for top 3 unless
Hands
he
down.
completely falls on his face.
He would not do that.
I mean, posing's great.
Yep.
Little tweaks we made that, listening to Tyler, what he wanted us to change.
Yep.
And we did go down and see Serge recently over in Miami, got his look.
Enjoyed
He's also
that.
an Olympia judge.
Yep.
He had some adjustments of what he gave us feedback on what the judges were seeing at Olympia.
Yep.
So we're working, man.
Ready.
I mean, we're getting in front of the right people.
Yep.
We're making sure we get the feedback and we're applying it.
That's it.
You know, so
I think
I
this
spoke
is
to Dom the other day on the phone, and we have a plan. We feel it's bulletproof.
Okay.
He's so ahead of schedule.
He
It's
is.
not even funny.
Oh man.
Again,
Hands down.
everything, all the stars are aligning
Yep.
for him to win the show.
Yeah.
Do
Just
I
gotta
think he
bring it
can
home.
lose it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm worried about a Corey Morris. I'm worried about Diogo. You know, these guys have beaten him in the past.
Yep.
Not sure if Corey ever did, but we know Diogo did.
Yep.
But we know the potential of Corey.
Yep.
So, and Vitor and Emmanuel Costa.
Yes.
And some of these other guys, Vinicius. I mean, it's a tough lineup, man.
Very.
And we have to come on point.
Absolutely.
We have to come on point. We've got to be dry. But everything is aligning.
Absolutely.
He's way ahead of Olympia. He looks better 8 weeks out. He looks like he was 4 weeks out from
He
Olympia.
stayed in
8
shape.
weeks out.
He
Yes,
stayed in shape,
he
which
did.
I tell
Great
all
reverse.
guys that, yes.
Yep, I was a
stay
little
in shape.
worried.
Yep.
You know, he went back home. He's not down in my camp for
Yep.
this one
Yep.
as he did for Olympia. But you know what? I think he learned a lot. I think he
did.
learned a lot of what it's going to take being in the camp for 6 months with me down here. I can tell, like, he's got this little fire in him.
He
He's
does.
asking me about his workouts more often.
He wants it, man.
He's training his core a lot more.
Yep.
He's posing a lot more. And again, he's had his schedule.
Yeah, he's ready.
So we know his body better and better every show. We
Yep.
know it's some things that I think we're going to take out of our plan for peak week.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of distractions for him last time. He had
was.
so much hype on him going into
He did.
Olympia.
Yep.
I know what my expectations were. My expectations, we were finishing top 3.
Absolutely.
We fell short of that one spot, but overall happy. We lost to 3 great athletes.
Yeah.
And I think he could have maybe even been a spot higher.
Yeah.
So Tam would have been on.
Yep.
A little bit drier.
Yeah.
But as far as shape, structure,
Oh, it's there.
up there at the top 5, I think he could have won that show.
Absolutely.
You know, Ryan was just on the money, man.
He was on.
You know, I don't
He
think
was
anybody
just-
was better than Ryan that
No.
day. I think Ryan was the most conditioned at top 5. I would probably put Corey right next to him.
Yeah.
So that's why Corey, you know,
Absolutely.
I got my eye on him.
He's gonna be tough,
I'm
man.
poking the bear too. I'm gonna get in his
Poking the
head.
bear?
Corey, I'm gonna get in your head once
No,
we get
man, we
close
don't want to
to
do
Olympia,
that, man.
brothers.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be a great show.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good guys in here. But I'm gonna just call right now my top 3 because I think so many guys are fighting
Let's go.
for 4 and 5. I got the top 3 that will be battling it out will be Emmanuel Hunter, Diogo, and Corey Morris.
Okay.
And I think you have a guy like Emmanuel Costa, Ismael Martinez,
Yep.
Vinicius.
Could be in that
those
top
guys,
5.
yeah.
Okay.
Mohammed, you know, those guys can all fight in there. And I think if they get in there, they're on watch now. So
Absolutely.
there's gonna be a lot of guys fighting to get into that top
I
5.
agree. I agree. I think it's
But-
gonna be a great show, man. I'm
You
excited.
know
I'll be
what
there.
they've done the last 2 years? They've either pulled out 3 or pulled out 2.
That's it.
So they kind of narrowed down who they're really looking at.
Yeah.
And I think this year they have no choice but to pull out at least 3.
We're gonna have to pull out 3.
Yep.
Yep. 3-man lineup. Yep. To the confirmation round for sure.
Yep.
Hands
Yep.
down. Well,
Guys.
good, man.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll have a lot of feedback going into the Arnold. We'll have a
Yep.
lot of videos. We'll be talking a couple of YouTube shorts as well, discussing the guys, and we look forward to seeing you guys at the Arnold, man. It's gonna be a great show.
See you at the Arnold, guys. We'll be there. And guys, please tag us in all your updates and photos. We are going to share those on the main page.
Yep.
The new Men's Physique news is launching at the Arnold with our new structure, our new format. We can't wait for you guys to see it. Stay tuned. Please like and comment on
Subscribe.
this and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.